Well, good evening, everyone. I am going to call this meeting to order. This is the September 13th, 2023 meeting of the City of Pasco Hearing Examiner. My name is Andy Kotkamp, and I've been appointed by the City of Pasco to serve as a land use hearing examiner. My job is to render decisions on various applications that are authorized to come before me, which include variances. That's what we have on the agenda for today. I'll consider any testimony and evidence presented at today's hearing, as well as all the written materials that are already on file in order to make my decision. I understand from staff that there's no member of the public here today and that the applicant has not shown up yet. So I'm going to abbreviate what I normally state about the hearing process, except to say that my decision will be final and conclusive unless it is appealed, and that I've reviewed the items on today's agenda and I don't have any interest in the property or the proposal to be heard today. And I will be able to fairly and objectively consider this item. And then outside of receiving and reviewing the staff report and all those attachments to the staff report that are in the hearing examiner packet, I've not had any communication regarding this item on today's agenda. So with those representations, well, it's staff. So staff's not going to have an objection. So with that, we will turn to the item on today's agenda. As I said, this is a variance application given application number HE 2023-004. And I'll turn this matter over to Mr. Adams for the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. For the benefit of our listening audience, this is HE 2023-004. It is a shed setback variance request in an RS12 suburban zoning district. The property is located at 9807 Chelan Court in Pasco, Washington, parcel 118-202-025. The property is zoned RS12, which is suburban, and the site contains approximately a quarter of an acre, slightly more. Applicant is requesting a variance for a shed replacement side yard setback from Pasco Municipal Code 25.35.050 subsection B, which specifies the required side yard setback for all structures to be 10 feet except in zero lot line developments, which this is not. For the benefit of our audience, public notice of this hearing was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the subject property and to the newspapers on August 21st, 2023. And I just want to note that in the staff report it says 2021, I think. It's not correct, it was 2023. Applicant applied for a building permit to replace a storage shed on June 21st, 2023. That permit application was placed on hold on June 28th via a letter to the applicant. That hold letter requested a revised site plan clearly indicating the proposed shed setback, and the hold letter advised applicant that the current minimum side setback is 10 feet for that zoning district. Applicant applied for a variance on July 21st, 2023, and that's in Exhibit C of the report. The variance application was received on July 21st. The shed was apparently destroyed by a tree which uprooted and fell on the shed during a windstorm. An applicant wishes to locate the replacement shed back at the same location as the destroyed shed. The original shed was located approximately 18 to 24 inches off of the east property line. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up a picture of the site plan submitted by the applicant. And you can see that the shed location is on the east property line right here, adjacent a fence. Unfortunately, we have no evidence that the shed was legally permitted by the city of Pasco. We have no building permit on file for that shed. As per Pasco Municipal Code 25.195.020, a variance may be granted if three of the following criteria are met. And the first one is because of special circumstances applicable to the subject property, including size, shape, topography, location of surroundings, the strict application of the zoning ordinance is found to deprive subject property of rights and privileges enjoyed by other properties in the vicinity and under identical zoning classification. The applicant has offered no information regarding any special circumstances that are applicable to the subject property. He did indicate that there are similar sheds built in the neighborhood that are also close to the property line. However, because that is not according to code, that would not be considered a right enjoyed by other people because that is not allowed by the city code. Second, the granting of variance will not be material detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements in the vicinity and the zone in which the subject property is situated. The preamble to PMC 25-175-010, which includes yard setback regulations, states that the purpose of this chapter is to establish certain basic development requirements. These are minimum standards which must be met to assure land use compatibility and promote public health, safety, and welfare. As such, the City Council has determined that yard setback requirements prevent conditions detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to property or improvements in the vicinity and zone in which the subject property is situated. Third, the special circumstance applicable to the subject property were not created through the actions of the applicant or any predecessor in interest. The shed placement was created through the action of either the applicant or predecessor. We don't know who actually placed the shed on the property. As well, the lot configuration, the house placement, the yard landscaping layout, they were all created through the actions of the applicant or predecessors in interest. And again, the city of Pasco has no evidence of a permit for the original shed. So based on these three criteria, staff does not see fit to recommend that a variance be granted. And one other thing that was mentioned in the report that if there had been a permit for this shed, it would have been considered a legal non-conforming structure. However, per PMC 25-170-0401, subsection A, any legal non-conforming use may continue as long as it remains otherwise lawful. And even if the shed had been legally permitted, per PMC 25-170-060, subsection 3, a non-conforming use or structure becomes discontinued when it is damaged to the extent that reconstruction costs exceed 50% of the assessed value of the structure. The fact that applicant applied for replacement shed rather than repair, we must assume that the damage to the structure exceeded 50% of the assessed value of the structure. So those are some of the highlights of our report.
All right, thank you very much. Finish my notes here. All right. I don't see the hearing room, but I'm assuming that nobody has come to the hearing yet. Is that correct, Mr. Adams?
That is correct.
The hearing examiner is looking at the hearing room by video. There are no members of the public or the applicant present. Mr. Adams, was the applicant given prior written notice of the date, place, and time of this hearing?
Applicant was sent a letter as well as an email detailing the time, place, and a copy of the report.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So with that, then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the public record portion of this hearing. I will have a written decision made within the next 10 working days. There are no other items that are on tonight's agenda, so I'm now going to adjourn this September 13th, 2023 meeting of the Pasco Hearing Examiner. And I just let Mr. Adams know, just so that you're aware, I'm going to be out of the office tomorrow and Friday. So my decision on this matter won't be coming out until early next week, most likely, just to let you know.
Very
All
good.
right, thank you all very much. This meeting record's been closed. The meeting's been adjourned. Everybody have a nice night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner.
You're welcome.